Hey guys, welcome back to the shop, welcome back to Worth Guitars. A little bit of noise in the background is the vacuum pump pulling this guitar up for me. I'm getting ready to glue this neck onto the acoustic guitar, the 0028, that we've been working on for a while. There was a pause in you seeing this being built because of all the finishing that's going on. I don't show a lot of finishing work because it's really boring to watch on YouTube. There's not a lot of action. There's a lot of waiting for it to dry, and then sanding and sanding and sanding and sanding and spraying and sanding. It's not really exciting. So I don't put that part on YouTube. I just do the building parts of guitars on here. So today, we have these parts ready to go together. And I'm just taking, I have a little tape on here, and I'm just taking this neck, this dovetail joint, and sliding it in, and just taking this piece of sandpaper and running it through this joint one or two more times just to clean up any weird overspray or anything that may have gotten on something. There really isn't any there, but I just wanted to make sure that we get a good tight joint there. You know, the finish that's on here affects the joint a little bit, not much, but enough to where I just want to make sure I got it right. So I have the tape on there so I don't scratch the finish, obviously, and I'm just running this through there one more time and trying to make sure that joint is clean. That's not the piece I want anymore. I want this piece, a little bit finer grit. You can buy this made by a company called Klingspor. You used to be able to buy a roll of it from LMI. Of course, they're no longer with us as far as the business goes. They're still in our hearts. No. LMI is gone, unfortunately. So I'm sure this is out there somewhere. StuMec may have it, some other place like that. But it works great for doing this particular thing. And that is just running through the joint like this, just to make sure that the two pieces fit well together. Just want a very nice tight joint like that. Of course, I did all of this while it was still raw, I guess you could call it. Didn't have a finish on it yet. So now I'm just cleaning it up a little. I think we're good. The joint looks good and tight all the way around. One or two more times here. And then I'm going to glue this neck on. I need to make a little clamping call to go right here where I put pressure against it, and on the back here where I put pressure against it. It doesn't take a whole lot of pressure to push this joint together. You don't want it to be under pressure. You just want everything to fit tight. You know, like any other wood joint, you just want the two pieces to fit tight together. You don't want to have to clamp the crap out of it to get it to go together, you know. If you're doing that, then you're putting undue pressure on the wood and something's got to give somewhere. We don't want that. We want everybody to live happily together. So, I'm going to be using wood glue on this. Regular old Type Bond wood glue on this neck joint and where it attaches to the face of the guitar, or the top of the guitar. A lot of people would rather use hide glue, and that's fine for them. I really don't see the need for it other than if you're just trying to be a traditionalist and you just want to do everything in a traditional way. Hide glue would be the traditional glue that you know, Martin used back in 1934 up to the 50s, into 1955 or so, and when HH glue came out, or aliphatic resin glue began being produced. And aliphatic resin glue became the norm for wood glues across the industry of any woodworking industry. To this day, Martin uses regular old wood glue to glue their guitars together. You can custom order a guitar from Martin using only hide glue. It will cost you a big upcharge. It's like $1,000 to get Martin to use only hide glue on your custom build. If you're into that, then that's the way to go. I'm going to be using good old Type Bond wood glue, just the plain wood glue, not the water resistant, not Type 2, Type 1. The reason for that is Type 1 is easily repairable with heat and with moisture. It will come back apart if you wanted to. You have to know what you're doing, but you can get it back apart. For instance, on the top here, you can put an iron on there. That will start the glue loosening up again. When it gets hot, it'll start to come back to life to some degree, and then you can get it back apart. So it can be repaired. It's not like it's going to be totally permanent. And if something happens to this guitar somewhere down the road and the neck needs to come off, they can still do that. It won't be an issue. Hopefully that won't happen. And this guitar will last for years and years, just like it is. I'm sure Philip will take very good care of it and keep it in a humidified location and all that. He's a smart guy. He's got lots of nice guitars. He knows how to take care of a guitar. So that's my reasoning on that, and that's what we're going to go with. And so I'm just going to go ahead and run this sandpaper through here a couple more times, make the clamping call, and get that done. So thanks for tuning in again. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed, please. We appreciate it if you would. And thank you for all the new guys that have subscribed. You guys are awesome, all right? So let's get to it. I'll be right back. So I'm just running this down through the joint. Like that. Very easily. It only has grit on one side. And just letting it go through there nice and easy. It's not under pressure. I think I'm actually good. I probably should stop now. I got a really nice tight joint there. I think I'm gonna hit it one more time on this side, and we're good to go. Okay. Still have the tape where the bridge goes because I'm still working on the bridge, getting the finish right. Sanded through a little when I buffed it. I buffed through a little on the lacquer for the bridge. Let me turn this pump on. So the bridge for these old school type guitars looked like this. Little pyramid style bridge. Some people call them the pyramid style bridge. And I buffed through right there on the point. So I had to put a little bit more lacquer on it. Try not to use a ton of lacquer so it doesn't look like it's got plastic all over it. Try to use a nice thin coat so it makes it so it's really easy to buff through it. But only use enough. Don't use too much, right? All right. So next I need to make a clamping call that will fit over top of the frets so that I can get a nice tight joint right there when I clamp that. I can get a nice flat clamp. So I just want to take a piece of this mahogany that I have. You can see I've already made a few for like bases and things. For this little area right here is really all I need it for. Because I want to be able to clamp here across the body. And then I'll come in here and clamp down there. Like that. And I can just use a flat piece here and put a clamp there. That'll hold that down. We want to hold this way to get the joint tight back in as far as it goes into the joint. So that's what I need. So I'm just going to make a couple quick cuts on this piece so that it'll sit down flat on the fretboard and I'm not rattling around on top of the frets. Got the cuts made. And that fits right down there perfectly. Just like that. That's what I want. Now I can put a clamp there and that gives me a nice clamp block to press down across the back of that. And I need something to press down here. And I think I'll just use this piece of rosewood here, and that'll give me nice pressure across there when I clamp from the inside, like this. Down pressure that way. Inside there, clamp down, clamp across here. Right. So I believe that'll work nicely. What I want to do is test it first. You always want to test it first. Get this green tape out of the way. There we go. Get that out of the way. That. Okay, looks good. Looks good. Everything's clean. That very awkward because it's pre-finished. Don't want to scratch it. Like that. Hold that in place for me. Nice soft piece of foam for the back. That's what I want to do right there. Give me a little bit of cushion across here. That foam will compress, but it won't scratch. Like that. And I'll put a clamp on there and see where we're at. And then clamp, that clamp might work. It might not work. There we go. That's what I want right there. Looks nice. It looks good. That looks good. That's going to work nice. Got a nice tight joint on both sides. I'm going to go with that. All right, let's put some glue on it. Get it done. Off. This out of the way. Need a longer piece. Okay. There we go. Some glue on this thing and glue it together. Get a little bit of water here so we can clean up. And I believe we're ready to go. Let's do it. Try to get a real even coat here. I don't want any excess, too much glue anywhere in here, especially in the dovetail joint. So I'll put a nice coat on here, down inside the joint here. I just stuck my thumb in that, which was dumb. But I do dumb stuff from time to time. All right, and I'll put a little bit on here. Everybody's got a little glue on it. Okay, that. That back on there. And hold on, I'll move it out of the way here. All right. Before I clamp it down, I got a little bit of mess here I want to clean off. I got a couple of minutes. Can't be messing around, that glue dries quick. When you start gluing something together, playtime's over. Got to make it happen. This here, my clamp block. Longer piece of tape just to hold that in place for me so I don't have to wrestle around with it, you know. That'll just keep that in place for me. Stand this back up. Put my two blocks together. If I'm taking any chances, I'm gonna round over corners. Just to make sure nothing digs in. I don't think it will because I have this piece of foam on the outside of it. So we're probably safe as far as that goes. And I'm gonna clamp this baby together right here. Just like that, right in the center of that. In the center of that, try to make sure the clamp is level. Give it a little pressure. And I want to push down here also and across. And just make sure everything's sitting down in there well. There's no excess buildup of glue, you know, holding things up. Like that. That looks really good. Now I can move this tape out of the way and see where we are. We want to make sure that the fretboard is touching on the top right there. I can move that out of the way now. No longer necessary. Make sure it's touching there and there. I need to go just a little bit tighter. Yeah, that's looking good. Good tight joint. You don't want to tighten it till it cracks. This guy Robert O'Brien. Tighten it up till you hear a crack and then back it off. That's not the right. Don't do that. Just making sure that the glue is in there all the way. Everything looks like it's settling in good. You know, you're pressing glue against the surface. It's got to, whatever it doesn't want, it's got to try to get out of the way, you know. That's one reason why you don't want your glue joint to be too tight, because that glue in there has got to move out of the way. Whatever the wood doesn't want, it's got to go. The wood, the two pieces of wood will take what it wants into the grain, and then the rest of it's got to get out of there. Okay, that looks good. So I'm just going to set this here like this. And I'm going to concentrate on clamping this part down onto the face or the top right now. And I'll use these clamps here for that if I can get it in there. This one might be too big. May not be able to. Yep, this one's going to be too long. So we'll go back to the other type of clamp. Like this. And this is going to be a little trickier because I got to try and glue and tape a little piece of wood inside here on the other side of the top, on the other side of the bracing, so that I can get a good glue joint there. So, but I don't want to damage, you know, the soft spruce inside with the clamp. So I'm just going to glue a little block up in there. Not glue a block, tape a block. Like this. Up inside there. On the other side of that brace, inside. You gotta work in the dark with just your fingers. Right on the other side of that brace. Because the brace is also made out of spruce, so you don't really want to clamp against it, damage it. Don't need a lot of pressure anyway. I mean, it's touching already, but you do want to put some clamp pressure on there. Okay, I think that'll stay in place for me. And I'll just use this block here, and that'll distribute the weight across there carefully to there. Like that. There we go, that's what we want. Move that in just a little there. Okay, that's what I want right there, right in the middle of that area there. And we can glue that down. And we got a nice tight flat joint across there where those two come together. Now clean up the excess glue, and we'll let this dry overnight before we do anything else to it. Hopefully when I polish and sand the bridge, I won't burn through the lacquer again. It's the second time I've done it. I know, it's embarrassing, but it's true. That little, where the thing comes up to a pyramid, that point right there, I need to just calm down, stop being so aggressive. All right. But that's easy enough to deal with, and so let's clean this up. And this has now become a guitar. The neck and the body are together, and man, that's a beautiful thing. Philip, if you're watching this video, buddy, there it is. She's become a guitar. We'll get the bridge on, we'll put some tuning keys on it and a nut, man, we'll tune it up and see what it sounds like very soon. And I don't know about you, but I'm really looking forward to that. Oh, I'm sure you're looking forward to it as well. You've been waiting a long time, very patiently, and I appreciate that. Thank you very much for that. Philip is a good dude. That's looking good. Looking real good. I'm very happy with that. Still getting a little excess coming out over here. There it is, guys. We'll take a look at this. When I get ready to put the bridge on, you'll get to see it a little better. I'll be putting the bridge on the next day or two. Let this sit now overnight. She's now become one, neck and body. And it will not be too much longer before we get to hear some music come out of this guitar, the 0028 for Philip Herder. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm going to go do some other stuff. I just wanted you to be a part of this. You've been watching the other parts of it. You want to see this part happen as well. And I thank you again for watching, man. Hit the thumbs up button for me if you would. You guys be good to each other out there, and I hope to see you out there somewhere, okay? Peace. Y'all be good.